apparently it is, they are David Letterman's favorite band, The National. Apparently he had written a long article gushing about how great The National is. Let me see here. Another article at NPR on The National. Getting older, with or without. What happens when the band that has soundtracked the milestones of your adulthood suddenly feels like it has nothing left to give you? Man, I feel like I need to open that article, read that one a little bit. Apparently, the National had ended their tour last time around in Dallas with an emotional concert. We'll try to find out what the hell's going on with the National. Make sure you get those tickets. We'll do that this morning, 8:45, as that show's at Blossom September. Also at 9. Turns out, the 4-day work week, it might work. Multiple places have tried it. We've got some data that's coming back on it. I don't necessarily want it for my career, my job, but there are a lot of places where the 4-day work week could work. I'll tell you why I don't want it here. Now, we'll get to that coming up at 9 o'clock, but apparently we've got data that tells us it could be working. Sorry, I'm reading this emergency alert system thing that's in here that you cannot hear as it's scrolling by me. There's been a child abduction. They're giving me all the counties now. Medina, Stark had been listed. Portage, that began at 6:06 a.m. That was Monday morning. This very morning, let me see here. The Rocky River Police Department in Cuyahoga County has issued an Amber Alert for a 3-year-old female. Sunny McIntyre was last seen on Riverwood Avenue, that in Rocky River. Last seen wearing a pink nightgown. The suspect is the child's mother. That would be Kathleen Collins. Vehicle involved is a 2021 silver Nissan Murano, Ohio license plate, AAH 1171. Suspect is possibly traveling to Strongsville or Cleveland. Anyone having any information whatsoever on this matter, please call the Rocky River Police Department. That again coming on a scrolling alert system I have here in the studio, so I apologize on that. Kind of coming to that live in the moment. Like I said, 9 a.m. this morning, we will take a look at the 4-day work week. It's Monday, so at 8 o'clock, we'll sit down, we'll talk to Scott from winningfornextyear.com. Got plenty to ask him this morning, including some Lakers Cavs stuff. For the longest time, people told me LeBron's going to come home and play with the Cavs, right? And, okay, I could see the ending of the story that way, right? LeBron kind of has hinted that he would like to play for his son. Not everybody going to line up to draft Ronnie. He's having a go of it at USC, let alone in the pros. We'll see what happens there. He could absolutely grow into a pretty solid player. But a lot of people have just suggested, well, it's going to be the Cavs because they have the low self-esteem. They'll do anything to get LeBron back. And so they'll draft Ronnie and watch now as this happens. I could see it. I could see it. The problem is that the conversations are heating up. Not LeBron the Cavalier, Donovan Mitchell, the Los Angeles Lakers. Those conversations are absolutely heating up. Now, where are they heating up? Is it just the Roundtable, FS1, ESPN First Take shows? If that's the only place it's heating up, then it's much ado about nothing. If they're bringing me stuff that they're hearing behind the scenes, GMs, coaches, and that kind of stuff, that it could be, this could be a thing. Now, most people have thought Donovan wants to be a Knick. I believe his father had worked or still does work with the Knicks. There's been some family ties there with the Knicks. Most people believe New York is still absolutely the mecca of basketball, even though the Knicks haven't been world beaters in a while. And people feel like, oh, get Donovan Mitchell in a Knick jersey and watch what happens there. So that's been the topic of conversation. We're going to talk to Scott about this. What's more likely, LeBron the Cavalier or Donovan Mitchell the Laker? Also may have to ask Scott about what Gilbert Arenas has said. He said if you want to fix the NBA, all you got to do is get those European players out. Get the European players out of the league and you'll fix it. I don't know, buddy. That one kind of feels like a dog whistle. Is that a dog whistle there? Kind of feels like a dog whistle. That one feels like, I don't know if I'd be allowed to say that. That one kind of feels like that. Gilbert Arenas absolutely getting away with it. We'll talk about that. Also was a shooting yesterday at Hall of Fame Village. We'll give you the updates on that when we can. We'll do that at 8 o'clock. 7 a.m. this morning, Oregon's going to walk back their legalizing of drugs. So many people had predicted this was going to go poorly. I had a little bit of a more optimistic view on it, but it turns out of them and washed all that out, and now her agenda coming out of George's mouth, right? As that's happening now, is that now George is completely switch pitch. Or he just got older and started to see the world a different way. That's normally what happens, right? But Leo, not so much. He's still out there doing this. I don't understand it personally. I don't personally understand it. Why did she turn down the famous actor? Everybody wanted to know, dude, it's Leonardo DiCaprio. You turned a night down with him? She says, no, dude, he's too weird and he's too old. Again, Leonardo DiCaprio is getting to Robert De Niroville, meaning he's been the best actor of a generation for a generation. Like, he's an old man in Hollywood today. As a matter of fact, what a lot of people would tell you, and they're somewhat right, that a 49-year-old woman probably doesn't get Flowers of the Killer Moon or whatever the hell it was for the movie, but a 49-year-old man does, right? Like, it's kind of what happened. Now, welcome to makeup departments, and you can age people up, you can age them down. It's like, that entire industry's built on magic making. That's what the entire thing is. So you can do some of that. And I think Leo's got skill for days. He's not just a good-looking guy. He is a good-looking guy. I mean, you could tell that. Was it Family Ties? Not Family Ties. What was that show? I forget the name of that show with the Seavers. I remember that. I remember Mike Seaver, and then he went full-blown Christian. His sister went on to be on Full House. I forget the name of that show, but that's the show that kind of started Leo out. And you could tell when he was a young kid, it's like, oh, yeah, he's a good-looking kid. Good-looking dude, right? And then now, all of a sudden, here come the real roles, and, the Gangs of New York, and all of this stuff comes out, and you find out, like, man, this guy might be the next Daniel Day-Lewis. Serious actor, really good, can kind of take on any role. Wolf of Wall Street, right? I mean, how good was that movie? Really good. Jordan Belfort's not a guy you like. Jordan Belfort's not a guy you would enjoy all that much. Leo makes you think that that's the kind of guy you want to hang out with. I don't think you'd want to hang out with Jordan Belfort even a little bit. I've heard him interviewed on MSNBC. He's obnoxious as hell, but Leo's character made him seem great. But like I always say, time passes you on. Right? And we talk about privileges in this country a lot, right? We do. And there are plenty of them. No more so than money privilege. No more so than fame privilege. Money and fame tell you every 22-year-old wants to have sex with you, even though you're 50. 50, man. 49 is not technically 50. It's like, okay, I'll tell you what. A 49-year-old man showed up on your doorstep to take out your young daughter. Is he 50 now? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Kind of funny, you can listen to him on your smart speaker. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. The Stansberry Show. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. On Rock 1069.
I got tickets for the National. We'll get you hooked up at 8:45 this morning. That show at Blossom. I believe the war on drugs is part of that show as well. So we'll get you into that. 8:45 on the program. I'll thank Katie and a few others who have written in already this morning to tell me that Growing Pains was the name of the show that Leonardo DiCaprio had been on. We were talking about Leo because apparently he tried to hit on a 22-year-old Playboy model, and he's 49, and she was like, nah, it ain't happening. And apparently Leo then went home with somebody else that night. Of course he did. He's Leonardo DiCaprio. He's not going to sleep in that bed alone. He isn't. He's going to get out there and, he's going to swing little Leo around there and try to find as much fun and happiness as he can. He seems hell-bent on dying alone, although so did George Clooney for the longest time. They asked Clooney forever when he was going to get married. And, he gave all, like, the smiley, clean teeth answers about mistreating women that were, perceived as, like, well, good, and, like, George is fun, and, like, he got clapped for it, and now out there preaching to you about how to be a decent person. Whatever you say there, Clooney, whatever you say, buddy. But Leo's kind of taking up that torch, rather, and kind of running around with it now. And, again, the 22-year-old Heike Konings ended up talking to the Daily Mail about it. And she was invited to go home with him, apparently. He reacted very shocked, of course. He was not used to it when I said no. I said I didn't know him well enough. And he responded sweetly, "I respect that." She added, whereupon he turned to another girl and took her home. She said that while she had not slept with Leo, she had several pals who had spent the night with him and claimed he has some questionable preferences in the bedroom. She said, quote, one friend said he kept his earphones in during sex because he didn't want to hear her. Another said he even put a pillow over her head. I mean, like, why people do things in the bedroom, and again, we've talked about this extensively over like the last month and a half. There's a lot of reasons why you like what you want in the bedroom. Most times, it's not accidental. It's not just cause. Like, most of the times, it isn't. It's normally coming from another driving factor there. I know a lot of people don't want to admit that or talk about it, because then makes me question what I'm doing. Don't like that. Judging other people, big fan. Admitting that I might have something going on with me, that's the part I don't like. Stands for turned beta, right? And like, that's where all of that kind of comes from. But like, it's not normally just randomized why you're into what you're into, right? It's normally we're working some stuff out, right? We're working some stuff out. And so we were kind of talking about Leo, getting, denied there, and this is only going to happen to him more and more as he goes on. And I couldn't remember the name of the show. It was Growing Pains was the name of the show he had been on as a kid. And has since then gone on, right? Plenty of, kids show up, good-looking kid on the show, fizzling out. You're not really an adult actor. You're just a cute kid, and that can kind of happen. Leo, I mean, let's be honest about this, man. He's killed it. I mean, the movies are good. Like, they are. That guy's made a lot of good stuff. And so, of course, he thinks, after spending his entire life, his childhood, in an industry where the talent tells you you get whatever you want because you're talented. So whatever you want, you get. So again, as we obsess on privileges in this country, and God knows there are those, and I have some of them, for sure. I believe having two parents that loved me in a house was a privilege. So much so that dudes who didn't have it call me a beta. And so, yeah, that absolutely was a privilege, having two parents that loved me. For sure it was, absolutely, right? But we cannot deny that money is a privilege. We cannot deny that celebrity is a privilege. Most 49-year-old men I know aren't going to hit on a 22-year-old woman at a bar. They won't. Will they look at her? Will they have too many drinks and like not realize we've moved into staring, buddy? Like, pull it back. We've moved into staring. Yes. Are they actually going to go up to her, walk up to her, and try and legitimately think they're going to take her home? Most times. Will it happen? Of course it does. I know some 22-year-old women are listening to me right now going, happened to me last week. Yes, it will happen. Most are too cowardly because they're afraid this is what's going to happen to them just in public. They're going to have to do that walk back across the bar where it's like everybody just watched Gramps get told no. None of us want that. Men are ego-driven. A man does not want that. He does not want. Why do you think when people are dating in the same age group and you go out to the bar, why do you think a lot of guys sit at the table talking about all the women they're going to hit on but never do? They're afraid of the rejection. Those alphas, they're so tough, afraid of a 115-pound woman. Yeah, you got it, right? That's just it right there. That's it, right? But most 49-year-old men aren't going to hit on a 22-year-old because they know better. They know better. They know that this is what's going to happen because they're not Leonardo DiCaprio. Which, by the way, Leo with his money could look like me and still slay. And that's what I don't understand. This has to be about the fact that she was in Playboy, right? Has to be. That has to be the thing on the checklist. Here's my math. If Leonardo DiCaprio goes to most establishments in this country and 22-year-old women are drunk in that place and he just shows up as Leo, most of them are going to gravitate towards him, right? Money, the fame, I'm willing to be the sugar baby, I'm willing to do this, right? Because men are so awful and women are just so virtuous, right? But they're all going to show up. There are plenty of 22-year-old, and let's be honest, kids at that point are going to trip over themselves to be with Leo. So why did he in that establishment for this? It's not about her age. It's about the fact he has a hit list reason, but it's not just the fact that she's 22. It's the fact that she was a model. She had been in Playboy. He absolutely has a trophy cabinet. For sure he does. And you've seen it plenty of times in his career. As soon as a woman hits 25, he drops her. And I mean like that. Like, I mean, dude, it's that Clooney playbook, man. Like, he just follows it to a T. It's like George was like, all right, buddy, I met so-and-so, dude, here's my little black book now, you take it. I mean, it's like, it was just kind of passed on. But why in the hell does it matter to you so much? Like, old man sleeping with young girl, I understand. Like, I do, I kind of get it, right? I'm trying to recapture my youth. She'll keep me young. I'll forget about the fact that when we're at dinner, I want to smash her head into the table because I don't understand a damn thing she's talking about. But damn it, does she look really good, right? I understand how that happens. I get it. I don't think it's going to lead you to a bunch of happiness, but I get it. I can understand what's happening. I don't understand trying to make it that much harder where it's like, nah, 22 is not good enough, dude. 22 and Playboy. That's what I need right there. It's insane to me. Now, maybe what it is because too many people say yes. And so it's no longer a difficult thing for you. That you want a little bit of a challenge. You want to be on the hunt a little bit. That you don't want just the red carpet laid out in front of your bed and every woman just walks down it because you're Leonardo DiCaprio. I want a little bit of something. But if that were true, after she told him, I don't know you well enough, he would have said, challenge accepted. Let's have a couple of drinks. I'd like to get to know you. But it's not what he did. He turned around, he found the next vapid idiot, was like, she'll do. Took her home and had some sex with her.
You're never too old for a good morning kiss. The Stan Scary Show. Rock 1069.
9 a.m. this morning, the 4-day work week may actually be working. We'll get to that. To text the studio, it's 330-450-7625. And you can find me on the socials, The Stansberry Show. So back in 2020, a state that I used to live in, Oregon. Now, Oregon's like most states. It's a completely different state depending on where you happen to live, right? Back in 2020, Oregon voters moved to decriminalize various hard drugs. And of course, people then, I guess I should tell you why, and it's because just say no didn't work. Like, say what you want, it didn't work. Right? I know we got Reagan's lady out there telling everybody on different strokes just to say no, but it didn't work. I grew up in the just say no thing. Did I end up saying no? I didn't. I did not, right? And a lot of other people did. Now, there's probably no slogan